Good morning. Welcome to Pecan Corner. I'm Tina, and today I'm cutting honeysuckle vine, and I'm going to prepare it to make baskets with. One of the projects I took on over the winter was to learn basket making, and I've found I'm really enjoying it. It's really a lot of fun. And so one of the forums that I read, somebody cut their own honeysuckle and showed how they prepared it, and it looked like it was fairly easy to do. So I thought, well, I'd better take this opportunity to make some of my own, especially since winter is the time to do it, and since my honeysuckle needs a haircut really badly. I'm going to continue to cut and peel this, and then I'll show you at the end, before I take it in, how much I put together. Well, I cut that much off of it, and the arbor that it was on has rotted. One side of it had already fallen off, and I cut enough of it that I was able to get the remaining loose pieces out. I'm going to have to replace the arbor this year. Hopefully I can find a nice, a strong metal one and put up for it. But at any rate, that's how much I cut off, and how much there still is. And there's my bucket full. So I'm going to take this in the house now and cook it for a while. And then I'll see y'all in a few minutes. And there it is, steaming on the stove. I'll do this for 3 or 4 hours to soften it up enough to be able to pull the bark off real easily. As you can see, some of it was sliding off already this morning when I was picking it. So there we go. Okay, now then, let's see about stripping our bark off of these. I've brought out a rough towel. Let's see if that'll do the trick. This piece didn't have much bark on it to start with. Maybe I don't need that towel at all. Oh yeah, it's just peeling off. That's what's happening. Okay. Oh, I don't need my gloves either, I don't think. Let's give this a try. Oh yeah, this is just going to peel off. There we go. Yeah, this is just peeling right off. This actually has a kind of a pleasant, it's not a stinky thing to have to cook. So I cooked it in the house because it was it's too dry and too windy right now. I couldn't have any fire outdoors. And but it has a kind of a fruity aroma to it. It's not unpleasant at all. And so I didn't mind doing it in the house. Okay, great. Yeah, see, that just peels right off. And then the gentleman that was telling me about it said he had seen some pictures where people had it all stored. After they'd done this, they coiled it up and just hung it to dry in their garage, and it'll just sit there and wait for you. So that's a really good thing. And then, of course, when I get ready to actually weave with it, I'll soak it again, just like any other weavers. But yeah, it's actually proven. It was really easy to pick. It just untangles beautifully. I was so shocked. And of course, it doesn't have any thorns on it, so I wore my gloves, but it's not like it's it's not like it's difficult for you to handle when you're pulling it off. Oh yeah, this stuff just, and see, I didn't even submerge all of this in water. What I did is I put a few inches of water in the bottom, and so the stuff that's on the bottom got soaked, but the rest of it just got steamed. I didn't want that much weight in it to have to carry, and so this that I'm pulling off now, it just got steamed, and you see how easily it's coming loose. So that's great. So that's another thing to know. You don't even have to have your water covering it all if you got a good lid so you can steam it. All right. And as you see, you know, it comes out of the pan as easily as it went in there. So it's it's not tangling itself up even after being cooked. Go. I know this is boring stuff. I'm sorry about that. I don't have anything to talk about while I'm doing it. I will do a couple more pieces and then I'll turn the camera off for a while until I'm ready to. I'm wondering if some of this could even. There we go. Now everything that I've read says to cook it right after picking it, not to coil it up and wait on this cooking it bit part. And so so that's what I did. Some things, if you leave them set, they'll harden in such a way that they won't come out off again. So while it can be stored after this process is done, I wouldn't store it before doing this process. Or if you want to, you know, test it with a few pieces before you risk all of your honeysuckle. There's a few little skinny pieces here that I'm going to have to cut off later that the bark doesn't want to come off of, but they're little smidgens anyway that really need to be cut off of those bigger stalks. It just kind of slides off, and it doesn't feel like it's being hard on my hands at all. And I didn't put anything in the water. I just used plain tap water. I didn't add any soap or any vinegar or anything like that. I just very plain water. Here we go. I can't see because of the sun. I can't see my screen, so I hope that I'm holding this where you can see it. Let's see what's happening here. It's funny with the basket making. I started out, I bought a kit, well, a kit with several baskets in it, and I made the first one, and I was like, wow, this is really. It's not that it's easy, although it sort of is, but what it is I can complete a basket in a single day, from start to finish, and the reeds that I bought only have to be soaked for about 20 minutes before I can begin using them. So for me, that is a huge help. In projects where I have to go day after day after day, I either get bored with them or I run out of time. I simply don't have time to work on them, and so they end up half finished. And so for basket making, even a large, rather complicated basket. Now it's a day of actually working on it. So it is hours, but it's hours that can all be done at once. And so for me, that's a big deal, and it turns out a really nice product. I was able to give those baskets that I made as gifts for my family, and they really liked them, and they really appreciated them, and they were really pleased with how they looked. They looked very nice. They didn't look like an amateur had made them. Well, a professional would see that they looked like an amateur had made them, but an ordinary person, the members of my family, and to me, it didn't look like that. And so, so this is a project this is oh, that one broke. So this is a craft that I'm going to continue with and develop my ability to do. It doesn't require a whole lot of tools, just a pan to soak them in, and something to use as a fid to kind of, open up. You can use a small screwdriver. I've got a sock knitting needle that I use for a lot of those kinds of things, and a vintage metal one that I use for all kinds of craft stuff. So it's so that's the thing. Now I'm only going to show you the processing of this material. I don't have time right now to actually start working with it, because I have got to make Easter baskets for my little grandbabies. I've got the regular store-bought reed to make those with, and I'm working right now. Well, I would have been out here, except it's too windy today to stain the reed so that I can make their little Easter baskets. And so so all I'm going to show you on this is the preparing of it, and coiling it up and getting it ready to store. Now when you hang it up to store, you want to hang it someplace where it can get lots of air so it can dry. Don't want to store it in an enclosed place, or in like you don't want to hang it in a closet, and you don't want to cover it in plastic, because it needs the air. So I've got enough done here. I'm just going to start coiling it up and let you see. That's it. I don't have to be very tidy with it. I just need to get it coiled up enough that I can tie it together so that I can hang it up out under the carport or in the garage, and let it dry completely, so that it'll be ready for me when I come back later this spring to play with it and try to make something with it. Got a few pretty sizable pieces that I'll try to use as either rims or as handles. Okay, now then, okay, there's a little one. I threw one down. Where did I throw that small one down? There it is. Okay, I'm going to use this small piece. I'm going to use it to wrap around. There we go. I'm going to use it as my tie to tie this together with. Okay. All right, here we go. There we go. Right. And there we are. I'm trying to think what it smells like. It has a really good, like a flowery, fruity smell. It's not quite honeysuckle that it smells like. Anyway, there's the first one. So all right, you could make wreaths with this. You could do all kinds of weavings with this. So I hope you've enjoyed it. This is a really short, brief video, but I just wanted to show you what I was up to lately. All right, you all have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to talk to you again soon.